You know, I want to add to what I just said about this, because this is about the third time I heard different stations, whether they were joking or not, whether they were trying to, uh, as they say, their bragging rights about warm weather in Phoenix in the winter is one thing. But when you hear it on two or three different stations, it seems like not only I don't know why you have anything to brag about, but it seems like that you're scared, desperate people. People will retire and go wherever they're gonna go in their own uh, time, and though you suffer from not having tourist attractions and things here in Phoenix, it is just the things that you say. Chicago, New York, Boston, Detroit. People have lived there like you have lived in this western town. Fathers and grandfathers and great grandfathers have lived here, have adapted to this environment. In Chicago and other places, people have lived there and adapted to the four seasons. How we live in Chicago, and I could say it firsthand, summers are short. We look forward and live our life to the fullest when summer is here. When winter is or fall is upon us, we look forward to the beautiful leaves falling off the trees and the different colors in Michigan and in Minnesota. We look forward to that. When winter comes, we fortify ourselves to get ready for the extreme cold. We live life to the fullest on all four seasons. We ask for no GoFunds. We ask for no fundraising to get over a little bump in the road. Even our police departments. When a police die, that police department take care of their own, not the community. Not the community. You know, I've never heard of a GoFund until I got here. Since I was growing up, and I'm 60 years old. The last fundraising I have heard of was Danny Thomas, Jerry Lewis, Bob Hope, and Dean Martin. And I can see the remnants of what they asked for those fundraising to this day. Here in Phoenix, you ask for fundraisers and GoFunds and stuff from the community, which is some bullshit. Officers and correction officers dying, and fire departments and first responders dying, but no person from the community as a fundraising been raised for him. It's always car washes and different other little stuff. If a regular little citizen gets killed or ran over, but when it comes to your first responders and different other official so-called people in the city, you ask for fundraising from the community. What community member are you asking for fundraising from, if it ain't the snowbirds and the other people? Why, in the job that he works, in the official way that he can go about arresting people and doing whatever, is it not money set aside for if something happens to him, he can be buried and his family can be taken care of and his pension can go on to his family? Why is it that every little tiny bump in the road, you guys are asking for fundraisings and GoFunds? We don't do that in Chicago, in no other city. We get over little bumps and hurdles of life ourselves. We look forward to winter. We look forward to spring. We live our life to the fullest, and we're fortified as men and women to struggle and carry on. That's the problem with Phoenix. They see vacationers come from Chicago and different other places with money, and they waste it and go to the casino and the Grand Canyon, and then they go back home because they have saved and scuffled and suffered through the winters and looked forward to the springs and did different things just for that short period of time. It is a nice place to visit, but they don't want to live here neither. So how could you brag and look down on them and say that they're mad because your weather is warm? You have become a lackadaisy community where you feel like everybody owes you something, where when we come up here, we have to pay for the water that we drink and the air that we breathe. That's what's wrong with Phoenix. And you ask for fundraising for anything. What kind of jobs do y'all have? And even with that Peterson guy, how y'all struggle to find a loophole to fire him when he had no integrity at all to do his job to run a city. Y'all struggle, and the man probably still got his job. When the police chief, the black lady, fired the two white guys, the community cries out for no confidence. What kind of shit is that? So we don't ask for shit, and we look forward to summer, winter, fall, and all the seasons. So why should we be mad because your weather is never changing and your attitude is never changing? And we all know a person never appreciates something that's given to them. And so why should we be mad? And I heard this on 3 or 4 stations. I've been here 7 years and hear that shit. What are we supposed to do? We supposed to drop living in an environment in a home to come up here and get fucked because the weather is warm? You're going to charge us for that. The privatized prisons, how many people came from other states and didn't understand that y'all rules didn't conform with other states and got locked up for life in privatized prison? You think that we want to come up here and get fucked? It's bad enough I'm up here by myself. So how would we be mad when we live our life to the fullest on every season that we face, and you sit back talking about you got bragging rights? To what? To what? You're worse to you're the enemy of yourself. Because you have got so lackadaisy and so lazy and so shiftless and so crooked, where when anybody come here, your radars go up to see how you can fuck them. We're not jealous of you. This is a good place to visit, but nobody wants to live here. And this you don't even acknowledge daylight savings time. None of that shit. You got your own thing going. But what bothers me the most is how you ask for funds and this and that for little shit. That's why your kids are so fucked up. That's why from generation to generation to generation, when they started this town, when they got funding for the Salt River Project, all the way to when they had the first fucking carnival here, and people decided to stay here in this fucked up ass town, and then you got funding from Salt River Project and different other places, you got where you didn't want to fucking work. You didn't want to do shit. You felt like everybody owed you, and whoever came in this fucking town, if they're going to breathe your air, drink your water, they got to pay. Nobody wants that shit. You know, people only have a certain amount of time in their life to live, and they don't want to be ruled by some assholes because they think that their weather, which they don't own, the land which you don't own, that you stole from the Native Americans, which you trying to kick the Mexican people out after they done cut your grass and kept your kids from drowning. You don't own shit. And then you want to think that somebody, just by what you say, they're gonna up and like it's some fucking new gold rush that you just heard about and everybody gonna migrate to this motherfucking place. You got to be mad. And that shit bothers me. Because everything, y'all ideology and everything that y'all think of is that everybody needs to come here when you're so fucking scared that they're gonna go to the Grand Canyon, to that tourist attraction, or some other fucking place, when you had the dolphins that couldn't even use their sonar in a bathtub surrounded by sand and they were dying. You say you didn't know why. You tried to get money and make money off of things that you in prison, like these people in this privatized prison. You made them make the float the other day for the veterans and said that the community has put their arms around the veterans and made a float. No, you put the bars around the prisoners and made them make the float. You know, that bullshit. And it is so fucked up here that I don't know how y'all don't think that people can't see through your bullshit, because the shit that y'all try, we have did 20 years ago on street game. It's fucked up. So ain't nobody jealous and ain't nobody mad because a never ending heat of Phoenix, Arizona is something that you don't own, and something that you can't exploit, and something that you can't make a person that's so anxious to see four seasons, so anxious to see the leaves fall off the trees, so anxious to see spring and the first bud that comes on a tree. For motherfuck you for thinking that we would ever be mad at you for having warm weather. Thank you.